security as it relates to gender-based violence, femicide, and child protection. As the world commemorated International Women's Day on Friday, the 8th March 2024, Cabinet reiterated its call on South African to stand up and fight the scourge of GB campaign. It simply cannot be the norm that 30 years into our democracy, women and children live in fear of being the next victim. This damning situation goes against the founding values of our constitutional democracy, which is built on human rights, human dignity, and equality for all. Cabinet expressed under this same theme the concern about the safety of children following the recent cases of child kidnappings in different parts of the country. Parents and caregivers must give extra vigilant care regarding the safety and whereabouts of children in their care and should educate children on general safety. In the spirit of Ubuntu, communities are urged to assist with taking care of children. Cabinet applauded the police and the community of Saldanha Bay in the Western Cape. 6-year-old Jocelyn Smith. Cabinet joins the nation in prayer and efforts for the safe return of many other children who have gone missing in the recent past. Cabinet calls on persons with any information on all missing children to contact their nearest police station or call Crime Stop on 08600 10 immediately.
Again, the number.
Cabinet is concerned by the illegal protest action at the eThekwini municipal workers, which has seen violence as well as water and power outages and destruction of other property. The impact of the strike has seen many residents without water, electricity, and waste removal, which is infringement of rights of people and a contravention of the Constitution. Such behavior will not be tolerated, and Cabinet has instructed law enforcement agencies to do all what must be done to ensure the rights of South Africans in eThekwini and other areas are protected, and to ensure that those who have been destructing property and preventing several guilty will face the full might of the law. Cabinet received updates to Cabinet, and these updates, we start on the updates on work done to improve or professionalize the public, both inside and outside of government, working to transform how government serves its citizens. In OPG, governments and civil society co-create each other. Cabinet received an update on the on completion of lifestyle audits for members of the senior management staff, that are people from the level. Cabinet received the progress report, and at the end of the end of January 2023, 24 national departments and 71 provincial departments reported that they have concluded end of March 2023 to 36 national departments and 89 provincial departments. It is a pity that National Treasury is still not compliant on this matter, and we have to call them out, as they must lead measures to address corruption within the public service and its professionalization. Cabinet further received the progress report on the intervention undertaken to address the disciplinary case backlog within the public service. The project targeted to resolve the 117 pending cases at national level and 104 pending cases at provincial level. This is significant in reducing the government's personnel expenditure on employees who are on suspensions whilst undergoing disciplinary procedures but continue to earn their salaries. To date, 250 cases were intervened at a national level, and of these, 133 suspensions were lifted at provincial departments, 172 cases were intervened, and 68 cases were resolved. Cabinet directed the Department of Public Service and Administration to ensure the strengthening of case management processes across government. Cabinet directed the Department of Public Service further received a report on the establishment of the Central Register for Discipline across the three spheres of government. Cabinet received a progress report on the establishment of a Central Register, and this Central Register is one of the actions contained in the response by President 2022. Cabinet noted the progress on the work done for the period from 1st of April 2023 to the 31st January 2024. The alpha version of the central register has been data as the international tourist arrivals for this period totaled 8.5 million, a remarkable increase of 48.9% compared to the same period. A progress report on addressing backlogs on the tour operator licenses. And in accordance with the report, the Department of Tourism will partner with relevant institutions and structures, including the Department of Transport's Interim National Public Transport Regulator Committee, to ensure the Department of Transport on establishing a call center on handling tour operator queries. In addition, the Department of Transport has issued a pound vehicles of tour operators that do not have up-to-date tour operator licenses due to the backlog. On education, there was the establishment of the University of Science and Innovation in Ekurhuleni and the University of Crime Prevention and Policing Studies in Hammanskraal. Of course, the naming will change as the universities come into being. This initiative is aimed at both alleviating the institutions of higher education and ensuring that higher education and training is responsive to trained graduates that are equipped to deal with the socio-economic needs of the country. On agriculture and land reform and rural development, today they're starving me of water. Cabinet received a report on the development of the cannabis and hemp sector and the cannabis master plan. And this is part of the cannabis sector. The aim is to provide a framework for the establishment, growth and development of the cannabis and hemp industry in South Africa in order to contribute to economic growth, poverty alleviation and job creation. In 2020, the Minister of Health approved changes to the scheduling of cannabis plants under the Medicines and Related Substances Act and the Minister of Plant Improvement Act of 1976. The Agricultural Research Council continued to develop hemp varieties with the support of the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development to make the seeds available for 2025 planting season. So there is hope for the rural women of the Eastern Cape, KZN, and Limpopo and other areas where they are planting hemp. When the Department of Agriculture, through the South African Health Products and Regulatory Authority, while the Department of Health, through the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority, is currently consulting on further changes to the schedules of the Medicines and Related Substances Act for purposes of allowing the Department of Health to regulate cannabis only for all medicinal use, whilst the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and processing of cannabis and hemp for all legitimate uses such as industrial, cosmetic, human, and food products application. And with the availability of the hemp variety. Report on the vaccine production capability at Ondersport Foot and Mouth Disease Facility to restore South Africa's capability to prepare foot and mouth disease vaccines from relevant strains for annual vaccination campaigns and use during outbreak emergencies. This will eliminate the use of imported commercial vaccines that are not necessarily tailor-made for the strains that South Africa suffer. Cabinet also received progress report on the acceleration of the implementation of land reform. and the acceleration of land reform program is an outcome of the accepted recommendations of the Presidential Advisory Panel on Land Reform and Agriculture that presented its report and recommendations to Cabinet in 2019. The various land reform acceleration programs continue to be implemented, and the progress was reported to Cabinet as follows. Through the provisions of the Transformation of Certain Rural Areas Act of 1998, of 1998, 593,167 hectares of land have been transferred. Through the rapid release of state land the rapid release of state land has been completed with the release and allocation of 559,602 agricultural state land that was released and allocated. Through the work of the land